Hold up, before you get to watching this video, let me talk to you for a second. Hit that bell down below and subscribe to the Fitz Take Podcast YouTube channel so you'll know when every episode is dropping or if something has been posted on this page. Also, be sure to follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description. Now back to the episode. Saints running back Alvin Kamara has inked a 2-year, $24.5 million extension to remain with the team through 2026. This is on the heels of the trade rumor coming out from somebody randomly. I don't even know who brother was, but rumors coming out that Kamara had requested a trade and that he wanted to leave New Orleans. Kamara came out and said that was a lie. He went ahead and got those claims out the window. So that was a good thing to prove that he really cares about New Orleans and wants to stay, and then he puts pen to paper to get the deal done to remain in New Orleans and potentially be able to end his career with the black and gold. Elijah, for you, just how vital was this to not only for them to get the deal done, but also to be able to step in and get it at such a time for him? And what does that kind of say about Kamara's character to stick with this team?
I think that's what he needed. I think Kamara, to me, is the life of the offense, and I think that's what he wanted to do is stay the whole time. Now, was it shocking? Kind of, only because I know in the beginning of the offseason he sold his house, or his house was up for sale, and told the media members you can just all chip in to live there. But other than that, I didn't think he was staying. The trade request I thought was real. He immediately shot that down. But I'm happy that he got his money because Alvin Kamara has been one of those premier backs for years. Some people say he lost a step. Some people say he still looked the same. I think he still looked the same. I think that Alvin staying in New Orleans means a lot to this offense, especially as Derek Carr gets healthy and Spencer Rattler finds his footing, and Chris Olave can try to work his way back in there. But other than that, man, I think this is perfect for Alvin. I didn't see Alvin going anywhere but in New Orleans, and I think that he fits the mold perfectly, especially for the premier back that he is.
Yeah, you got that right, man. I mean, it's so many things that you look at. I've always heard people say, like, if you love New Orleans first, it will always love you back. And Kamara has definitely been one of those guys that stands out. You know, you think about Drew Brees coming there to the city of New Orleans and what he did for that franchise. You look at a guy like DeMario Davis. Even you can look at Jameis Winston and his past couple of years of being there. Alvin Kamara is another one of those guys that when you think about the New Orleans Saints, his name comes up just for what he's been able to do on the field, how he stands out, how he's embraced that community, how he's loved on them. To me, it also is, you know, extremely wild. It makes sense, but it's also wild that we're talking about this guy potentially finishing his career pretty soon. And I think he hasn't even broke 30 yet. I think he's either like 28 or 29. So to even like be in that conversation just tells you how short of a shelf life it is for running backs in the NFL, especially for somebody like him that gets as many touches as he does. But yeah, I think it was super important for them to go ahead and get that deal done. I think some of the stuff that he did early on, as far as like putting his house up for sale there in the offseason, it made a whole lot of sense because it's like, all right, you know, if I need to leave, then I can just leave. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about trying to sell the house once I'm in the free agency market. So he was just kind of getting his business in order and making sure everything was good in those regards. But as I've seen a lot of people say, and as I can, you know, truly feel and sense from him, Alvin Kamara has wanted to stay in New Orleans for his entire career. And now it very much looks like he will get the opportunity to do that. I think that this deal was $22 million in guaranteed money. With that, you know, I think that's about 12 and a half or close to $12 million that he's going to be able to get out of all of this per year in that extension. And it just goes to show, like he mentioned in the press conference, I was listening to it earlier. You know, he could have tested the waters in the free agency, but for him, it just didn't make sense to even go and do that. It was a whole lot better for him to be able to to just stay in New Orleans. And so, very, very good for the Saints to be able to keep their main guy. Um, for you though, like now that you know that you have this guy through 2026, what other things will the Saints need to do to ensure that? Because he's also playing with a broken hand. He revealed that too on the back half of his press conference. What things do the Saints need to do to make sure that he can remain healthy, that he can stay upright, and as he continues to get older, he can be able to be healthy and give them his absolute best every time he's playing.
they gotta invest into the offensive line. Um, the offensive line is what gonna make Alvin Kamara go. The left tackle, the guard, these guys, they're gonna push for Alvin Kamara, and even with Derek Carr or whoever's back there on the center in the future, if it's Derek or if it's Spencer, or if they go into the draft and grab somebody else. But for them, they got to get an offensive line and protect their investment because they just put another investment out there with Alvin. I think that I think with Alvin, I think what he should realize now, though, at the same time, that they need another two back system. I mean, I know he got his money, but nowadays some people could run their running back into the ground as playoffs begins. I know this it's a 17 game season now, and if you want to make a deeper run, it could turn into a 19, 20 game season. So I think with that being said, they need to. I don't want to say draft a successor because they just paid him, but they got to draft somebody who can take the load, and the offense doesn't change when he's not on the field because the days of him getting paid well deserved, but the days of him getting 20 carries, a game, um, is going to lessen now. So, with the offensive line and drafting somebody who has a similar style to keep this offense alive and keep it going, and it's nothing wrong with splitting carries. It doesn't say who's better than who. Look at Detroit. Detroit has Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery splitting the carries. You know what I mean? So it's like with that, when you have two backs and the offense doesn't change and it's not a power back and a scat back, you have two guys that's a similar style. You can still run the same plays, the same scheme, the play action, or a running back screen, or whatever you want to do. So with Alvin, again, I'm happy he got paid, but for the Saints, I still say go offensive line and then go grab somebody that I don't want to say a successor, but that can complement him very well when he's not on the field.
I agree with you. They definitely do need to start looking at a long term plan. I mean, Jamal Williams has been there for what 2 seasons now, and he's kind of been the complimentary back. I know you got Kendre Miller there in the mix, but he hasn't really been able to stay healthy. Jamal Williams in his time at Detroit was kind of like your touchdown guy. You get him there, and he scored a lot of touchdowns for you in that sorts, but it really hasn't been that for him in New Orleans. Um, if the Saints, the trajectory of their season continues to go this way, I think they have the number 5 overall pick as of now. So if you continue to have this type of season, you're going to have a top 5 pick. I think that depending on how the mock drafts turn out to be, I think they need to go and get what is it, Ashton Jeedy at Boise State. I think they need to give him a serious look. Maybe not a top 5 pick like the way the Cowboys did with Ezekiel Elliott some years back, but if he is available near the bottom of that draft or in the second round, I think you got to give him a look. I think you go with the offensive line. You build up there in the draft first because you'll be able to, go a lot cheaper, get in a good tackle, get in a good guard because, I think you're solidified at center with Eric McCoy, and I think you're pretty good at guard with Cesar Ruiz. I think you need to get a tackle, figure out truly if Trevor Penning is the guy that you want long term, and get those things set in order. Ryan Ramczyk, I know was supposed to be big for them, but he hasn't been back since his injuries and things like that. So you need to get a lot younger, and you need to build that up around him because as much as he is the focal point of his offense, like you said, he's getting older, and you don't want to wear him down to the point where these nagging injuries become big injuries, and he just won't be as impressive and won't be able to be as explosive as what he's been for you in the past, man, because he has been special, no doubt about it. And I think that as long as he continues to stay healthy, well, Kamara just had some news. Brewery offer to Kamara. Oh, okay. I did see somebody say that. It was a dude that was on Twitter. He was saying something like, "I want to give Kamara a year supply or a lifetime supply of beer or something like that." And I guess Kamara responded to him. Bleacher Report just pushed it out. I didn't know what that was at first. I thought we was finna break some news on here, y'all. I didn't know what was going on. He said, a Beta beer. I'm about to give Alvin Kamara a lifetime supply of beer right now. Loyal King. Kamara said, "Do you need my address? How do we do this?" That's real. That's real. I feel you, bro. So Kamara gets his deal done. He stays with the Saints through 2026, almost solidifying his career to be a New Orleans Saint full time in his entire career. The Saints will try to pick up the pieces as they are 2-5 on the year. They travel out to play against the Chargers, who are 3-3. They will play them on Sunday in the 3:00 slot. That's a first for the season. They'll play in the 3:00 slot. That game will be on Fox, so you can check that one out. As the Saints try to get things in order for their season. Thank you so much for watching this clip of the Fitz Take podcast. Be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description. And remember, every episode of the Fitz Take podcast will air right here on the YouTube channel every Monday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.